Late one night when I should have been asleep, everything on the internet shifted because of a single mistake. It was an ordinary Tuesday, the type where you plan on going to bed early but end up scrolling endlessly until your eyes sting. I had just warmed up some leftover pasta, lying back on the couch with my phone propped against a pillow, not expecting anything out of the ordinary. My feed was stale, the same recycled videos over and over, when suddenly a notification popped up. It said Beyonce was live, no promo, no build-up, no big announcement, just her account, not a fan page, not a fake handle. Straight up Beyonce. That alone was enough to make me sit up. She never goes live. Beyonce is calculated, precise, someone who only shows the world what she wants them to see. She drops a post to sell an album, to promote a shoot, to share curated art. She's not the type to casually hop on live like an influencer fielding random questions at midnight. I clicked without hesitation. The stream took a moment to load, and at first it looked like some kind of mistake. The image was tilted, as if the phone was propped up against something without much thought. The lighting was dim, not totally dark, but more like the murky, colored glow you'd expect from a lounge or club. Red and blue lights washed over the frame. What little you could make out appeared expensive, velvet upholstery, maybe a plush couch or some hotel-style seating. And then she came into focus. Beyonce, not the polished superstar who spends millions on a single performance, but Beyonce, the woman. She wasn't centered in the frame, not even fully visible, just lingering near the edge. Her hair was tousled, makeup minimal, or maybe completely absent. Still stunning, of course, but human in a way she never lets the world see. She wore a baggy shirt that draped past her thighs, the kind of oversized tee that looked borrowed from a man. Barefoot, pacing, holding a drink in one hand and her phone in the other. She didn't seem aware of the camera at first. The music in the background was pounding, bass heavy, the type that rattles walls, not mellow party music. Then there was a sound off camera, a laugh followed by a cough, low and recognizable. Something about it made me turn up the volume. A voice called out, "Yo, B, you good?" Her head jerked toward the sound. For a moment, she stared into the phone like she couldn't quite process what was happening. Slowly, she mouthed, "Wait, is this live?" And in an instant, the feed was gone. Just like that, shut off. At the time, there were only a couple hundred people watching. The chat barely moved. But I knew the moment I saw it, this wasn't going to stay quiet. I hadn't even thought to record it. I just sat there staring at my phone, stunned, like I'd witnessed something that wasn't supposed to slip into public view. And judging from her expression, she seemed to feel the same. Almost immediately, I jumped onto Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it now, and the ripples were already spreading. People had caught the clip. Someone, maybe a fan with lightning-fast reflexes, had recorded it in full. The quality wasn't great, but it didn't need to be. You could see her face, hear her voice, catch the vibe of the room. Enough proof to spark wildfire. Within minutes, captions like "Beyonce caught slipping" and "Is that Diddy's house?" were everywhere. Others started enhancing the sound, slowing it down, boosting the audio. And when you did, that background voice really did sound like Diddy. The laugh, the tone, the way he said "B." People began comparing it side by side with clips of him laughing at Rock Nation brunches, matching it almost beat for beat. Once you heard it, you couldn't unhear it. Then the theory machine kicked into high gear. Reddit threads popped up breaking down every detail of the blurry footage. Some swore they spotted mirrored walls. Others pointed out what they believed to be bottles of De Leon tequila on the counter, Diddy's brand. A few even claimed they could make out framed photos of his kids in the background. Was any of it truly visible? Probably not. But when a story like this hits the internet, facts don't matter as much as perception. By morning, the clip had been seen millions of times across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. Gossip blogs tread carefully, not outright declaring Beyonce had been at Diddy's house, but carefully framing speculation. Fans wonder if Beyonce accidentally revealed private party location, headlines read. No one official said a word, not her team, not Jay-Z, not Diddy. And the silence only fueled the fire. People dissected everything. Her outfit was said to look like something a woman throws on after peeling off an evening gown, as though she had been dressed for something formal earlier. The way she seemed dazed, the fact she wasn't in performance mode, it all added layers to the mystery. But the thing that stuck with me most wasn't what she wore, or the background, or even Diddy's supposed voice. It was the look on her face when she realized she was live. It wasn't panic, not exactly. It wasn't embarrassment either. It looked more like confusion, like she genuinely didn't know how she'd ended up broadcasting. For someone as controlled and curated as Beyonce, the thought that she could slip so simply felt strange. Did she accidentally tap live instead of record? That happens to normal people, sure. But she's not normal people. She's Beyonce, someone whose image is usually airtight. Theories started spiraling out of control. Some insisted it wasn't her phone, that someone else had set it up on purpose. Others suggested she wasn't entirely in control of herself, that maybe she was being watched, even monitored. Outlandish, yes, but online, outlandish always finds believers. A TikTok even popped up from a girl claiming she worked at a hotel during one of Diddy's parties where Beyonce had supposedly stayed late into the night. No proof, just a story. Still, it racked up millions of views. It's eerie how quickly one 15-second clip can fracture a superstar's carefully crafted image. Beyonce has weathered cheating scandals, on-stage accidents, and career controversies without losing her aura of perfection. Yet here, with one grainy live feed, people began treating her like any other celebrity caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. The more I thought about it, the scarier it seemed. No matter how powerful, how untouchable, one slip can let the internet decide your story for you. You don't get to explain. The crowd fills in the blanks. And once the story is out there, it's impossible to rein it back in. That day, I kept refreshing, watching the discourse evolve. At first, it was jokes, people posting memes and clips. Then came the questions: was she drunk? Why was she with him? By nightfall, the narrative had morphed into accusations, theories upon theories. And at the center of it all was a moment that shouldn't have happened. A glimpse behind the curtain of someone who usually only shows the world what she wants them to see. It wasn't Beyonce the goddess, it was Beyonce the human, tired, barefoot, unsure. That vulnerability unsettled people. And that's when things shifted from gossip into something darker. The live stream, in the eyes of the internet, became linked to an older rumor, the so-called freak-offs. I had heard of those before, vague whispers on social media, threads that vanished mysteriously, screenshots that traveled like digital ghost stories. Diddy's parties have always carried an air of mystery, invite-only, strict NDAs, and reportedly phone bans. But the phrase freak off didn't come from gossip blogs. It came from an actual lawsuit filed earlier this year. A civil case against Diddy, brought by an unnamed plaintiff, detailed events where guests were allegedly coerced or manipulated into sexual acts, sometimes observed by others. It wasn't the typical celebrity rumor mill. This was documented in legal papers. At first, Beyonce wasn't directly implicated, but when an amended version of the lawsuit surfaced, things exploded. In one draft, her and Jay-Z's names were casually listed as attendees at one of the events. No accusations of misconduct, no crimes attached, just their names present in the room. That was enough. Although the names were later scrubbed in a revised filing, screenshots of the original spread fast. For fans predisposed to believe in shadows and secrets, the removal didn't look like a correction. It looked like a cover-up. The timing of the accidental live, combined with resurfaced court documents, lit the internet on fire. Theories spun endlessly. Had Beyonce accidentally given the world proof of something darker? Was this live a glitch, or was it a leak? The internet rarely pauses to consider nuance. A mistake becomes evidence. Silence becomes guilt. By then, the clip wasn't just seen as awkward, it was framed as part of a bigger conspiracy. People started weaving together every rumor they'd ever heard, every whisper about Diddy's parties, every time Beyonce seemed strangely absent from the spotlight. One detail fed another, until the entire story snowballed into something far bigger than that 15 seconds of live footage. And that's the part that chills me, how one quiet Tuesday night turned into a cultural storm. A moment that felt unimportant as it happened, but that gave people just enough to run wild with their imaginations. A glitch in the carefully constructed image of one of the most powerful women in music became an opening the world couldn't resist prying apart. What lingers with me isn't whether it was real, or whether she was truly at Diddy's house, or if that voice was really him. What stays is that image of Beyonce looking into her phone, bewildered, not quite believing she was broadcasting live. A crack in the perfection. The reminder that no matter how rich, powerful, and untouchable you seem, it only takes one moment to let the world start writing your story for you.